Let's talk about the file system hierarchy in Linux. If we do a df, it shows me the file systems currently mounted on the system. Now we can make the output more user-friendly by passing the options T and H. T will show the file system types like XFS, for example. Small h will show the sizes in powers of 1024, or in other words, in maybe bytes, etc. If we do a capital H instead, the sizes will be in multiples of 1000, or in other words, in megabytes, etc. Now I am not going over the units as it is out of the scope of the course, but you may want to study it at your convenience. Let's now shift our focus to the highlighted line. The / is where the file system starts. It is the parent of all other file systems or drives mounted on the system. For example, if you mount an external USB drive, it will be located somewhere under the parent /. To summarize, the system stores all files and folders, partitions, block devices, USB devices, etc. in an inverted tree-like hierarchy, which is the file system hierarchy. So if we take a look at the boot partition, it starts with the / and then boot. If we mount another partition under /boot, which we probably won't, but for example, it can be /boot/example. If we do a lsblk, it will show us the block devices on the system. Now let's do a ls-la on /. This will show us the folders and file systems under / currently mounted. Now if we try to change the directory to boot without using the /, it will show us that the directory does not exist. That is because if we run the command cd without the /, it does not go back to the parent location. It tries to change the location based on the current working directory. Our current working directory is /root. So let's now do a cd to /boot. And then run ls-la without anything after that. It shows the contents of the current directory, which in this case is /boot. As you can see, the /boot folder or partition, if it has its own partition, contains the files and folders required to boot the system. If you remove the folder completely, the system will probably not boot the next time, and you may have to rescue the system using a rescue drive. Okay, let's now examine the contents of /dev. VDA and VDB are the virtual disks available to the system. In general, dev0 is used to create dummy files and overwrite disks for security wipes. Other tasks include pre-allocating space for virtual disks and suppressing command output, in a similar way to dev-null. Let's say that you want to create a test file for testing network download speeds. Your buddy dev0 will help you do that. Okay. Let us examine the contents of /etc. A single dot refers to the current working directory. So if we do a ls on a single dot, it will show the contents of the current working directory. If we do not mention anything at the end, ls will still print the contents of the current location. This folder etc generally contains configuration files. The /home directory generally contains the user home directories. The home directory of the root user is /root by default. Now remember, each of these directories could have been mounted as separate file systems completely. By default, the home directory of a user is owned by the user itself. You can of course change that though. ~username refers to the home directory of the user, so we can go to the home directory of the user using ~username without using the entire /path. Similarly, we can check the home directory of the root user using ~root. The /usr directory generally contains libraries and programs that run under /usr/bin. So these are all the programs that we can run from the command line by default without calling the full path. A couple of things here. You can create your own commands by putting your executable files in this directory. As you can see, all files have execute permissions for the user, group, and others. If we run the which command followed by the program name, it will show us the full path to the executable file. Let's try the whoami command. Let me try to create a new command that is basically a clone of ls just for the demonstration. Now if I type sou and then try tab completion, it is not showing the new command. That's because as per the default umask settings, new files won't have execute permissions. This can of course be changed though. Let me add execute permissions for everyone, and now the command works. The directory var contains logs, for example var log messages. For the demonstration, let's install the Apache web server and see if we get more entries in var. As of now, DNF is the recommended method to install packages. Although yum still works, it may be depreciated in future versions. So we have a new folder called www in VAR. VAR is also the default location for many applications like the Apache web server. By default, when you install HTTPD and put contents in var www html, you should be able to view the contents of the website from a browser. When we install a new service like the web server, for example, we need to start it and enable it to be automatically started after a reboot. So if we do a systemctl start HTTPD and then check the status, we can see that the web server is now running. And then if we do a curl on the web page, we will see our new one-line website that we just created. If you found the video helpful, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications to get notified of more videos like this. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you, and I hope to see you in the next one.